Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeffrey Goodman, Director of Marketing and Development for the YMCA of Northwest Louisiana, and we're here for Shreveport, Bossier, my city, my community, my home. My guest today is an old friend of mine, Mr. Edgar Guzman. Edgar, good to have you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll hop in. We were visiting a little bit, catching up off camera, but we'll get into the more fun stuff here now.
Okay.
So, Edgar, my first question for you is on Friday, November 20th, 2020, in the middle of the first year of COVID, you and your wife, Deshea, opened the lot at the old Sportran Terminal in the 400 block of Crockett. Let's begin, if we could, by talking about how that project came about.
Okay. Well, me and my wife are bike riders, and we would ride our bike from Piermont. We live on the corner of Piermont across from the Holiday House, and go through Clyfan Parkway, and that was Crockett Street, right there where the bus station was. We would do our little loop, and that was kind of where we take a little water break, and we noticed that, the old bus station wasn't there anymore, and we're like, this is a perfect place for food trucks. I mean, that's the first thing that came to my mind. We travel a lot, we go to Florida and Texas, and we see a lot of places where, you got food trucks, live music, all the stuff we like, food, And Liz Swain happened to be out there one day walking her dog, and we thought it was a city's place, and we're like, why don't y'all do that? And she's like, well, it's not the city's anymore. But I'll put you in contact with a person that it is. And I was like, I really wasn't trying to get into an adventure like that, but we gave it a shot. We called the owner. He allowed me to do a little test, a couple month test, and it did well. So that's kind of what started it. It was supposed to be just, we'll throw a couple food trucks and ask people to come. We need a lot of musicians. We know a lot of people, a lot of chefs in town, just because we love going out to eat around here. And that's kind of how it started, so.
And what are some of the events currently taking place at the lot, and what are some of the things we can expect to find at the lot over the next 6 months?
Well, a lot of it, we have an art gallery inside, so Katie Larson with Agora Borealis, she's our curator, so she tries to bring different art exhibits to our to the lot as much as possible. And we have different food trucks there for lunch. R&L Cookery is one of them that's there. No Teeth Barbecue, it's another. And then we just this weekend we have the Deaf Action Center is doing a scavenger hunt. And we're doing our third Latin night on Saturday night as well. So, different. Other than that, I don't have a feature like what we're doing later this fall. But we plan to do something for Halloween. And we had we did a pretty big events last year during the fall. We had the American Tragedy. We had like 1,100 people there for that event. We also did, trying to think. Lots of fundraisers we do there as well. Boxing, Dement Brothers have done a great, job of getting the youth out of, giving them something to do, and I think that's what we're about. We want to try to give the community Shreveport somewhere to go with their family. We didn't want a bar. We wanted something for the whole family to be able to enjoy. We want more things for them to do in Shreveport.
And I know y'all are pretty present on social media, and you have a website. Just tell people where they can kind of follow what you're up to.
The Lot downtown Shreveport. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and then our website.
Okay, and the website has an event calendar.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, great. All right, so you once said, it's a quote I pulled from you, you once said, we want downtown to get back up and running and we're going to do everything we can to help that. You're now 2 years into the lot. I would say at this point that you're far more experienced than most of us in terms of understanding the great possibilities and challenges of revitalizing downtown Shreveport. In a recent interview you did with Tim Fletcher, Fletch said, "A stronger downtown means a stronger community." Do you believe downtown Shreveport can be great again? If so, what can all of us in the community do to help make that happen?
I definitely believe so. I think that downtown it's definitely going in the right direction right now. Across from us, we have some construction going on. They should be done sometime this year.
What is
John
that?
John Michael Photography is going to have like their photography place there. There's going to be 4 condos above that. I think one of them is his. And then I believe there's going to be a diner as well across from us. And then we have Sun Studios. They opened up. It's a art gallery marketing place that opened up since we've been there. The Strand's back up and running. And the Andrews Building on Crockett Street is an entrepreneur place. Lots of great artists that are renting spots there and lots of small businesses. Farmers Market is doing great this year. Pepito's has a place downtown now. I think they'll be opening up here shortly. I see lots of buildings being sold. So Liz has done a great job. She's made it where people are starting. I think the lot had something to do with that as well. I think they saw what it could be because, Shreveport is a pretty big city. I feel like we should be able to have something that size and be able to support it. It's very safe. We've been there 2 years and have not had one incident in 2 years. So I feel like downtown is safe. I think there's still people thinking, oh, it's downtown, it's not safe, but that's totally false. We've had many, many events there and many, many people at the events, and we've never had an issue, no fights, nothing out of control at all. So I think if Shreveport just would come out of their house a little more and kind of support the small local businesses, I think it could continue to grow.
Awesome. Well, correct me if I'm wrong about this. You have a full-time job, and a lot is something you do in addition to your full-time job. What kind of advice can you give to people in town that say, I really care about my city and wish I could do more, but I'm just so busy?
Well, that's, I guess, I think all of us could do a little more. There's people that kind of like me, don't mind working as much as I can. I'm able to get out. I think my family might want me more at the house sometimes, and I think sometimes I bite off a little more than I should. But there's different ways. There's people that could help sponsor some of these, like the Dement Brothers, what they're doing. They're getting people that can't really afford boxing lessons, and they're just doing it for free. They're able to provide something. The youth need something to do. If not, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. So I feel like people like the Y and other big corporations could help people that are doing these things. Because it in the long run it helps everybody. If you get kids out of bad situations and put them in better situations, in the long run it's just best for everybody. So I feel like there's a lot of big companies here that could help that way. And as far as your normal person, go out and support. Like, go to the farmers market, go to the lot, go to all these great chefs in town, Key Mexico and Pepito's and Frank's and Zazul and all these places that, they took a chance on Shreveport. So, it's just right for us to kind of support people that way.
Andrew Larson once was quoted as saying, "It's amazing what Edgar has been able to do here. His support for the community, I think, should be an inspiration for all of us." Why do you care so much about Shreveport Bossier?
Well, I've lived here most of my adult life, and I've been here since I was in elementary school. I have kids here now, and I feel like we're doesn't seem like we're going anywhere anytime soon. It's a perfect place to live. You're close enough to Dallas and New Orleans and the bigger places, but it's home. So with such great music and food, and there's no place we'd rather support than home. Many times we've gone in big groups to Florida and Austin and all these places, and we're taking money away from our place to go to one of these other cities, and that's when we started thinking, look, let's try to find something to do here and help the local economy and try to make Shreveport a better place. All these murals that they're doing in town, I think that's amazing. We have some amazing artists. My wife is one of the artists that's here, and I just feel like we're in the right path, and anything we can do to help support that, I'm all in, so.
Love it. Well, I'm down to my last question with you. We may keep talking a little bit, but I think most people would agree that our community doesn't always come together as much as it could. In one interview, you stated that you wanted the lot to be for every neighborhood. How do we, as a community, do a better job of coming together? Different races, different classes, different neighborhoods.
Well, I think everybody should, I guess I'm a prime example of I'm friends with just about everybody. I've never looked at anybody by race, maybe because I'm Hispanic myself. We had a hard time when we were younger, because, we were different. There was many Hispanics in Shreveport when we moved to Shreveport, But that's one of the things that we did at the lot. I kind of purposely would have events for every group, since I started the place. And now we get a little bit of all the groups in our place, and everybody gets along, everybody has a good time. There's no, I wanted the lot to be politically free, none of that. I wanted people to come have a good time, eat good food, listen to music, and just learn to be in the same place, and realize that there's nothing wrong with that, So, I don't know. I think when we do these events, and when anybody else in town does these events, I think they should have that in mind. Like, how can we target not just one group, everybody, and if it means marketing, if it means going out to the different communities to find ways to invite them to every event, I think Shreveport would benefit greatly from something like that, because everybody deserves it, and the more we put everybody in the same group, the better Shreveport's going to be.
And why do you think people don't do that more? Is it laziness? Is it lack of comfort or trust?
I think all of the above. I think it's when you're part of one group, sometimes you might feel that other group is not. It's not in your comfort zone, I guess. And I think when they realize the culture and what they could bring, I think there should be more of a round tables with a group of everybody. I think when you start getting feedback from all different races and Hispanics and the blacks and everybody, you get a better understanding of what you could do with an event. The Revel's coming up, and we're hoping to be they're actually trying to do a Revel Plus where it's not just the Festival Plaza, it's now going to be downtown. And they approached us about maybe having, other events going on during the event, so we could. The first thing I thought of is like, well, all right, well maybe I could start bringing Hispanic groups that are not part of the Revel, and then that way we could bring another crowd to downtown, which is a big crowd now. They're one of the biggest days at the fair now. They have their Latin music, and it's big. I mean, it's real big. But yeah, I think the more we do to include everyone, I think it's just better, better for everyone, and you get to meet great people, So.
Well, thanks, Edgar. It's great to have you. It's great to catch up, and I'm really proud of you and all you're doing for the community.
Thank you.
Keep it up, please.
Yes.
We need you.
Yes, sir.